Mark, the idea of his public defender saying he will be exonerated. Now, you and I have talked about this before, saying they can't make the case, saying that the facts will prove that he is not guilty of these crimes. That's one thing, and that's zealous representation of your client. But to say he will be exonerated, that means something in the law. That means he's innocent. Not they can't prove he did it. He did not do it. Bold statement at this point, no?
Well, it's a bold statement, but my guess is that it was done in response to the officers in Idaho saying that they have 100% certitude that he's good for this. So when you've got that, and when you've got, by the way, you're also in a rush to judgment and presumption of guilt that I've seen before with various clients. And so there's sometimes you've got to throw a rhetorical grenade into the mix, if you will. But remember, there were some interesting things that also came out around that today. I mean, they're not only saying he was going to be exonerated, then the prosecutors basically in response saying, oh, the reason he's waiving extradition is so we can get a look at the probable cause affidavit. And I would agree with that 1,000%. He wants to see what's in there and what they've got.
Help us understand that. What does that have to do with waiving the hearing? It's mostly just about identification anyway. Why would he be in a hurry to see it? Isn't that kind of painting a picture of him as like an evil genius?
No, I think it probably fits in with this idea that he wants to be exonerated. He's not going to fight extradition. Yes, extradition is generally a formality, but you're not going to get to Idaho where they would unseal the probable cause affidavit, or they would give it for attorney's eyes only or something like that and keep it under seal. The public may not know. Depends. I mean, if the defense lawyer in Idaho may take the position, we want the affidavit, but we don't want it released to the public. There's already a presumption of guilt here, and a probable cause affidavit that's not tested in any kind of crucible of cross-examination is just going to further damage his ability to get a fair trial.
And they may win on that. If you want to call it a win, because we know that already Idaho officials are saying it's unlikely that they'll allow cameras in this trial. And again, that's a nod to trying to somehow normalize the process.
Well, and remember, I believe her last name was Vallow, who was a trial in Idaho, in one of those counties surrounding here as well. That was moved because for a change of venue. This case may be susceptible to a change of venue as well. Although the argument's going to be is where you're going to move it because it's been wall-to-wall coverage.
That's right. When it's big enough that it's bad enough, there's almost nowhere you can go in today's reality of our media. Mike, let me loop you in on this. The first thing will probably be a softball for you. Geragos, I'll just tell you, the better mind on the screen right now compared to me, you both are. He disagrees with what I'm about to say 150%. But for the layman, maybe someone who would be seated on this jury, they're looking to see, is this guy acting like somebody who didn't do this? Now, Mark and all the clinicians will say, hey, who wants to talk to the cops and put yourself in trouble? Every lawyer is going to tell you just shut up and let's get to a process where we can deal with the facts. But human beings put themselves in this situation like his classmates and say, I can't believe he would do this. If this had been me, I'd be freaking out. What's your read on Bearing?
Well, you don't want to try to read too much into a perp walk. I mean, gone are the days of Oswald walking around Dallas and he can answer questions. I mean, if you look at a lot of these high-profile cases over the years, I mean, regardless of eventual guilt or innocence, these guys listen to their lawyers and they're told, have a proper countenance, be neutral, be somber, be consistent with what would be expected. And that's not a big ask. And even if they weren't following necessarily their lawyers' or attorneys' advice, I'm not sure that there's a real tell here in terms of, that this guy is completely aloof and cold and indifferent to what's happened. As you've indicated, the PC or probable cause affidavit, that's where the real answers will come.
Hey, thank you for watching. please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.